attacked by the random ass Dragon Ball fandom when it came down to Pan. I honestly thought about something when it comes down to Lolly that I feel like maybe are people confused online? Do they just refuse to see anything? Which, that means they're just blinder than tough. But at the very same time, like, what is the deal when it comes down to people regarding Lolly in the shape and form where it's like, oh, if you like Lolly, you are fully pledged in allegiance to all things that is Lolicon. You are just fully for that stuff. You ain't looking at nothing else, just straight Lolicon material, and that's your weirdo having self. And all that type of stuff. Because that's basically what I feel every single time when you bring up something Lolicon related, especially on Twitter, and just a place where people just do not really care about that type of material, much less don't like it at all. Because this is ridiculous. This is a whole 20 hours of just straight notification of, hey, I just said, hear me out about Pan, and everybody was on my ass. Everybody was on my ass. Not everybody that's on this notification list, because it's like Alice and whatever, but still nonetheless, everybody was on my ass, and it was wild. If I'm like, bro, if you had this much energy, number one, to just come through and bombard me, like, if you put this energy to actually stopping real monsters out there from hurting actual people, dude, you be actually doing some good work. You be actually making the internet a better place. But when it comes down to it, you just come through and be on this type of time and then this type of BS? Dude, you have all this energy. Again, put it to something more useful. And granted, for me, I already knew I was gonna just, do this, and then essentially that was gonna be the reaction. Because I was like, the last time I interacted with some Dragon Ball people, they went ballistic and they absolutely just are trash. And now it's just like, well, I'm just gonna do this shit just for funsies and just for bait. And I did the same thing just for that reason. And honestly, what the funny part was is that they was like, oh, you can't log into your Twitter unless you delete this whole ass post, which is just me saying, hear me out. It wasn't even a crazy picture of Pan or nothing like that. I could have said the superhero version of Pan, but I didn't. And when it comes down to it, I just didn't. It's just like, yo, here's this regular version of her with her actual in anime, version of herself of GT. And that's all it was. It wasn't anything crazy like that, but they still got on my ass for it. Ridiculous. But again, when it comes down to it though, a lot of these type of people, a lot of people just in general that don't know how Lolicons roll or how it works, is that a lot of them people be thinking, oh, you are just standing Lolicon and that's it. You don't look at any type of other material. There ain't anything you want except this type of thing right here. And I hate to break it to people, right? Especially when it comes to me in particular, but I'm not fully alleged or aligned with just straight Lolicon material when it comes down to what I like to see, right? And the same way could be said vice versa. I'm not just here for the absolute tallest, big smacking, clappy, slappy, ass cheeks and booba of certain characters. Like, I'm not here for that all the way either. And that's just kind of like the whole thing. I pledge my allegiance to literally no one but what I enjoy. And that's like the simplest thing that easily people don't necessarily understand. And I don't understand how people don't get this one, right? And this is just something that I keep obviously seeing a lot of the time. Part of the misconception about a lot of people and how they think about Lolicons. And it's just like, yeah, that's not how it works. I don't know what game you're playing, but that's not how it works. That's like, oh, I very much enjoy X Games snowboarding when it comes to, the big air, the slope styles, and all that stuff. But at the same time, I also like to watch some skateboarding when it's on. So, there's plenty of things that you can sit here and just enjoy, but that doesn't mean you can't enjoy the other thing too. And it could be for many different reasons. So, I find this particular situation to be absolutely funny and weird. Because when it comes to me in particular, I just like the character. That's my whole thing. When it comes down to just enjoying content of anything at all, when it comes down to Gensai material, just especially, I enjoy whatever character I'm feeling for at the moment. Which I feel like is a very much sensible outlook, like how a lot of other people have. Because yes, I'm probably going to look at Chi content. I'm probably going to look at, some type of hand content or something of the sort like Toph. Or at the very same time, I could look at Makima if I'm feeling like it. I could also go as far as look at like Yuffie or Ayane if I feel like it as well. Like just plenty of times where it's just like, yo, I like a bunch of different stuff because I like a bunch of different characters, right? They might not be my favorite characters of all time, but I do like it. And hell, there might be times where it's just like, dang, I do like a certain attribute of that character. Maybe it is the damn flat chest of certain lolis. Maybe it is that these lolis can be short, but they thick as hell. Or maybe it's that, oh, I just want to see big round boobas in my life or something like that. And that's just kind of, again, how it is for the moment. I feel like this honestly shouldn't have to be explained for any particular reason. Yet when it comes to Twitter and how low of IQ they have and how slow they can get at times, I feel like sometimes you do have to kind of, unfortunately, repeat old ground at times because, yeah, people are very not, smart and they can easily just construe what's actually going on. These are the same type of people that basically keep harassing over and over again that one Tatsumaki cosplayer that got called out for literally no type of reason. Like, yes, the woman is short. Yes, she pulled out the cosplay mad nicely, and she about fine. But at the very same time, that doesn't necessarily mean that this is some type of bait of that type of thing. That doesn't mean that that's how that goes, and that's what most people of that caliber is looking at. Like, no, that's not how it works. For instance, some people that is Lolicons, they just only look at fictional content and nothing real. So they might not even like this. But on the other hand, you do get people that like this type of content and do like, the cosplayers that's in it and just other stuff in general. Again, you can like multiple things at once. Holy crap, did we not necessarily learn this when we were growing up in high school or just in school in general? Did half of the people on Twitter go to school? I don't know. But my point is, though, it's just that not every single, lolicon that is out there just particularly like one thing. Heck, if that was actually the case, you would see that within my OCs, honestly. You think Shion and Yukari would be the only lolis in there? No, everybody else would have been a loli if that was the case. But because I like variety and I like different shapes and sizes of my different characters and women, I just simply put through a lot of different status of what can be there and what cannot be there, and things of the sort that will fit one character and one thing that will fit another character, because it's things I would like to see. So it's not necessarily, again, one shoe fits basically everything. It's definitely not that. It's just essentially like, yo, I just like this in the moment, or I do like this category, but I also like to look at the other thing from time to time. And to keep very much a stack, at least for me personally, I'm kind of the type of person that's like, if you only look at, Loli and only specifically Loli, and that's the main thing, you might need to put some variety in your system. Just a little bit of variety in your system, at least for me personally. But, it's just, again, weird how many people think that, oh, just because you're a Lolicon, that's the only thing you look at. Nah, son, I look at tons of things. There's tons of things I absolutely enjoy, and it's crazy how you came to that dang conclusion. But what do you know? You came from Twitter. If I decided to post a butt booty naked Dragon Ball, like the first Dragon Ball version of Chi-Chi, and then post on the side the actual like later form of Chi-Chi, like Cell Saga Chi-Chi, you ain't gonna know what to do when you see all that content right there. You'll be like, what? Huh? What is this? That's right. People can like more than one thing. So shut your damn mouth. But that's, I guess, basically what I wanted to say. This is not really anything that is like crazy or groundbreaking, as I'd hope it wouldn't be. But when it comes down to it, it's just crazy how many people are just like, yo, you like this one thing? You like everything apart that. You like it in the contexts that really doesn't make, a ton of sense, right? And it's just like, no, I like one thing. I can like one thing and also just go to another thing. Or I can like one part of one thing and dislike another part of it, right? That's like watching a cosplayer get crazy with their whole outfits. Like, yeah, sure, I like to see them in one form. That doesn't mean I like everything that they do, but I do like to see one form, at least what they do, and see some other stuff. And that's just kind of how it is. Then I can go to another cosplayer for another thing. Again, you don't have to pledge your allegiance to one thing. It's not that deep. It's like console wars. You don't need to pledge your allegiance to PlayStation or Xbox, which are pretty much dead at this point, or Nintendo or whatever. You don't have to do that. You can just do the one thing for a time and then go to another thing when something cool happens. That is literally it. But that's essentially all I really want to say for this one. So hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification on way out. Also follow me on socials. And if you'd like to donate to the channel, go find Cash App is available as well. I don't know what is with me with sluttering my words, honestly. My words have been very much sluttering and slushing and slushing all the days long. I don't get it. I need to fix that. And until this, boy Jay, sign off. Have a blessed day.